8 Arkansas Urban Legends. The stories people tell and the things people say they've seen can be so amazing. For instance, there are several Arkansas urban legends and tales told around campfires. The Boggy Creek Monster is still the most famous of all urban legends in Arkansas and likely the most covered in fiction and other media, and these particular stories just might be worth checking out for yourself to see what's really going on. Are all these Arkansas legends just based on myth, or is there something more to these tales than meets the eye? Desha County Courthouse Menace. According to stories spread for years by locals, a drunken young man who'd been unlucky at gambling set a fire in an act of revenge and was handed down his subsequent punishment, death by hanging, in sentencing at the Desha County Courthouse. The man proclaimed his innocence until the end and vowed that the beloved courthouse's clock would never run again. For over a century since the execution, the courthouse clock has not worked properly. Desha County Judge, 608 Robert S. Moore Avenue, Arkansas City, Arkansas 71630, USA, brushes with greatness at Mount Holly. Along with a number of local historic luminaries and prominent Arkansas names, 14 state Supreme Court justices, 4 United States senators, 4 Confederate generals, and 21 Little Rock mayors are buried at Mount Holly Cemetery. If that's not cool enough, the cemetery is said to have spirits roaming on a regular basis dressed in clothing of their era. Who knows? A ghost hunter with just the proper attitude and courage might be able to carry on a conversation with a celebrity spirit at Mount Holly Cemetery, which is often billed as one of the most haunted cemeteries in Arkansas. Mount Holly Cemetery, 1200 Broadway Street, Little Rock, Arkansas 72202, USA, The Haunting of Curran Hall. One of the oldest structures in Little Rock, the Walters Curran Bell House, best known as Curran Hall, has been said for many years to be full of wandering spirits. Curran Hall staff have claimed to have seen inexplicable events such as machinery operating on its own and shadowy figures appearing in spots around the property. Paranormal researchers say that the main spirit of presence has been identified as that of Mary Walters, a resident of the house until her death in 1843. Ghost tours are available annually at Curran Hall, so those who are brave enough can see if the legendary hauntings can indeed be proven real. Curran Hall, 615 East Capitol Avenue, Little Rock, Arkansas 72202, USA, Shadow People of the Old Arsenal Tower. There's always a certain feeling you get when visiting the MacArthur Museum of Military History, whether it's knowing you are in the presence of years of preserved military artifacts or feeling that you are not wandering the halls alone. There's definitely a weird vibe about the place. The old arsenal that houses the museum has many visitors on a daily basis, and some have reported seeing unexplained shadows on the walls. Some visitors have also reported hearing disembodied voices and music coming from seemingly nowhere while in the museum. Don't let the museum's creepy reputation deter you from visiting, though. The MacArthur Museum of Military History is among the most popular free museums in Arkansas. 503 East 9th Street, Little Rock, Arkansas 72202, USA, Strange Annual Visits at Moss Mountain Farm. Moss Mountain Farm has become a popular spot for Halloween tours, and a legend behind the property may have something to do with the attraction. It's said that an English naturalist and traveler who settled on Moss Mountain in the early 19th century with his crew of men was murdered mysteriously on Halloween night in 1819. Those who take a tour of the property on Halloween are said to feel the presence of the unfortunate souls. Of course, there's more to the farm than haunted happenings. For instance, in spring, the landscape at Moss Mountain Farm is adorned with hundreds of thousands of daffodils. Moss Mountain Farm, 23700 Ross Hollow Road, Roland, Arkansas 72135, USA, Fort Smith Museum of History Voices. Once known as the Old Fort Museum, the Fort Smith Museum of History has been the standard for preserving the town's wild and storied heritage. The building is so alive with history, in fact, that spirits allegedly can't stay away from it. A 2008 paranormal investigation found researchers coming into contact with visual and temperature-related phenomena as well as EVP, better known as an electric voice phenomenon, that provided audio evidence of a paranormal presence in the museum. All that aside, it remains one of the best museums in Arkansas and a must-visit for residents of all ages. Fort Smith Museum of History, 320 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas 72901, USA. The Aggressive Spirit at Powhatan. Powhatan Historic State Park, located in Lawrence County, is said to be one of the most haunted locales in northeast Arkansas and hosts ghost tours annually. The old Powhatan Courthouse was once very popular for hangings, and the spot is still said to be inhabited by presences. One, in particular, is said to be the spirit of an executed man who vowed to take his rage out on any women visitors. In spite of the haunted happenings, Powhatan Historic State Park remains one of the most popular state parks in Arkansas. Powhatan Historic State Park, 4414 AR25, Powhatan, Arkansas 72458, USA. The Crazy Creepy Allen House. The Allen House, located in Monticello on North Main Street, is definitely an eye-catching structure and takes visitors aback upon first glance with its three-story grandeur, but what goes on inside may be too much for you to handle. The house was owned by the prosperous Allen family until the 1980s and seemed to be just the right place for Mr. Allen and his wife to raise their family until they passed away, which is what they both did, but in the late 1940s one of his young daughters, Liddell, tragically took her own life. The act may be what has led to a series of inexplicable and frightening experiences, such as figures appearing in photographs taken in the house or furniture being found rearranged. Liddell's spirit is said to be the driving force behind the unexplained occurrences in the house, which is open to the public every Halloween so people can get a good look for themselves and see what's happening inside what has been called the most haunted house in Arkansas. Allen House, 705 North Main Street, Monticello, Arkansas 71655, USA. So, did you know about these Arkansas urban legends?